the VCS News Podcast. I'm Soraya.
I'm Kamaya.
And we're here with
Mrs. Austalosh.
Okay, this is our school counselor, and we're just going to ask her a couple questions about, being a counselor and if she has any recommendations to high school students.
Okay, the first question is, how long have you been a school counselor?
This is my second year.
Is there a challenge you face regularly so far?
Yeah, actually. So being a school counselor can sometimes be heavy. You hear a lot of things from students that can be a little daunting in the struggles that they experience in their lives. And so for me, the hardest part is not taking it home. I have 2 young kids, so I try to separate that and not take it home with me and dwell on it and worry about my students all night.
Mm-hmm. How old are your kids?
5 and 2.
Aww. Do you have a boy and a girl?
Just 2 girls.
That's so cute. Okay. Did you always know you wanted to work in education?
Actually, I didn't. I grew up in a family of educators. My dad was a principal when I was younger. My mom was a teacher, and both of my sisters went into education, and I flat out refused. I didn't want to do it. But life has a funny way of humbling you, and I had a complete change in my life and a career change, and now I can't imagine not working in education.
What's one thing you wish students knew about using the counseling office?
That's a great question. So just the fact that I'm here, I oftentimes feel like the kids don't know the process of how it works. And if you feel like you need counseling, you can go and talk to a teacher or your principal, and they will refer you to me, and then we can see what you guys need and kind of go from there. And I'm not a clinical counselor, so I don't do actual therapy strategies, but I sure have a way of helping people, at least I think.
I think you do.
Thanks.
But, what's your proudest moment as a school counselor so far?
This one has to be seeing the kids that I worked with one-on-one last year and seeing the leaps and bounds that they've made so far this year. So the current 3rd grade class, I worked with them when they were down at PG in 2nd grade, and they have made tremendous improvements just with their regulation of their emotions and being able to express themselves a little bit more clearly than they were before, and it's just incredible to watch. So that's by far my proudest moment.
Okay. Do you have a favorite Bible verse that guides your work?
I do, and I actually wear it on a bracelet on my wrist every day. Let me pull it up so I can tell you word for word exactly what it is. So this comes from Psalms 23:4, and this is the NLT version. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. And I just really feel like that is a really good reminder that everybody goes through a really dark period, and if we rely on God and allow Him to guide us, and if I remember to encourage the students to do that, then, we have a very strong chance of succeeding in life.
That's a good verse. I've never heard that verse before.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yes, that's a nice one. Is there any piece of advice you'd give to students about success?
It's going to come and go. You're going to have moments where you succeed. You're going to have moments where you fail, and you cannot be afraid to fail. I tell this to my basketball students all of the time. Failure helps you. It helps you grow, and the only way you can succeed is by failing. So while you are going to have moments where you succeed, just know it will come with failure.
Okay, that's a good one.
How has your faith influenced the way you counsel students?
The best way I can describe this is just that I really, truly just talk about God with all of my students all of the time. Anytime they're going through something that's difficult or challenging, I always fall back to God. What are you doing that relates to the Bible? What are the teachings telling us? What is the word saying? Are you praying about it? And my faith I feel is very strong, and so I always tell them, I pray about things when I'm struggling, so are you. And that's kind of how it takes shape in my day-to-day work.
Who's the most influential person in your life? Is there a person that really inspires you or that's always inspired you?
My mom.
That one's a common answer.
I feel like everybody's answer is probably either their mom or their dad or grandma or somebody, but it's definitely my mom. She's just a really strong woman. She experienced the loss of her mom at a young age, and just seeing her go throughout her whole life without her own mom has really like changed my perspective. And she's just incredible.
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it, actually. Okay. Is there a small habit that you do in everyday life that makes a difference?
I have Bible widgets on my phone, actually, and they change, so I'm constantly looking at it to see what it says, and then I kind of just think about what it's trying to tell me. So I've changed that recently within the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed a big difference so far.
Yeah, I feel like that's keeping up with your verses, so...
Is there a lesson from high school or college that sticks with you today?
So this is a hard question for me. Most of my life lessons came as an adult, but the one thing I think I learned the most with high school and college is just to have fun. You grow up very quickly, and once you become an adult, things become way more serious. So I think high school and college really taught me to not take life for granted and enjoy every moment, and just, you know, make sure that you're going out and doing what you need to do, of course, but having fun with your friends and being a kid.
Is there anything like that one of your students have taught you, even if it's like one of the younger ones or the older ones? It can be any age bracket, but is there like a lesson you learned from them, even if they're not aware of it?
That's a hard question. Yeah, so there's a couple of students, the younger students down at PG, who they have experienced grief at a very young age, and they don't let it kind of stop them from living. They have chosen to still show up to school, still have friends, still be happy, still see the joy in life, and they choose joy. And I think that's just very incredible, because it could derail someone's life, right? And I just think that's a really something that everybody needs to...
Yeah, like it's like a good life skill,
Yeah.
like, instead of just focusing on the negative.
Exactly. Like it's something that I think everybody needs to focus on and kind of realize, like, yeah, death happens, but you still have to live your life. So I think that's, I don't know, it's pretty incredible watching them do that.
How can students improve their mental health while at school?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, talking about it, everybody deals with struggles with their mental health, and sometimes it can be embarrassing to be open and honest about it, but there are people like me here, or if you have a trusted teacher that you want to talk to, it's important to talk about it. There's no shame in having struggles with your mental health, and you aren't benefiting yourself if you don't seek the help that you need. So talk about it, get the help, go see an outside therapist, and just do what you need to do to make yourself better, because you can't pour from an empty bucket. And if your bucket's empty because your mental health is in the tank, you're going to struggle.
Oh, okay. Sorry. How do you pray or reflect before making a decision that impacts students?
That's a great question. And honestly, I usually just, I do just that. I just pray about it. I ask God, what's the best route that I can go about helping this student, and what do I need to do to help them? And I kind of just let him guide me. There's no right or wrong way really to ask him for help, and so I just constantly pray and see what he says.
Is it hard being a counselor for both schools? Well, for all the grades?
It can be, just because of the time constraint. I have to split my time between everybody, and so that can be a challenge, especially if, for example, yesterday I was dealing with a couple of students who were struggling here at the intermediate and got a phone call from Mrs. Farina that a student needed help down at the elementary building, and so I had to run over there and help that student. So there are some challenges with it, but honestly, it's probably by far my most favorite job that I've ever had.
What was the first job you ever had?
My very first job? I worked at Dunkin' Donuts in high school.
That's common. Actually, a lot of people here work at Dunkin' too. I hear that one a lot. Is there any advice that you'd give your kids to prepare them for high school? Like watching everyone else and how they have to experience high school and everything you've learned. Is there anything you would say to them to prepare them?
High school can be a challenge. There are some fun dynamics with friendships that can either make your high school experience awful or make it fun. And I guess the best piece of advice I would give somebody is to just go to class, make sure that you're actually in school, don't be tardy. That actually does affect you more than you realize it does. And it affects your friendships that you have with people. It affects your grades. It affects your ability to go on and be a successful adult. So I guess the best piece of advice I can give somebody is to show up, do the work, and be a good friend.
Do you feel like you're at your level of success?
Do I? I would say yeah, I think so. I hope, at least.
I was just checking.
Thank you for coming on our podcast, and that is all for VCS News.
Okay,